So we're lucky enough this year, the Elusive team has a piece of property that's just miles from our studio, and it's really just right outside the Houston area, so it's literally just in our backyard.
And after an off season of putting in food plots and a feeding program, we were pretty excited when we started having some pretty good pictures of deer appearing on our trail cameras.
So this is really new territory for the Elusive team to hunt this part of Texas. And it just turns out that the whitetail deer out here are basically Navy SEALs, and we were having the hardest time finding them. But we did get one picture of one fantastic buck, and pretty much the whole Elusive team was after this one whitetail.
Yeah, but he was on one trail camera on one night, and that was it. He vanished after that, so happy hunting to the Elusive team. All of bow season went about like that hunt. Lots of time in the stand with nothing to show for it.
And you know, we usually cherish our bow hunting. I mean, we love it, and I prefer it, you know, bow hunting versus rifle any day of the week. But in this instance, on this ranch, I was so ready to move to rifle season and hopefully taking advantage of the rut because we just weren't seeing any activity.
With the rut in full swing, I decided to sit in a spot that's in some pretty thick cover. And we put in a small food plot though, and it's very well protected. I thought it'd be a good spot for the rut.
So with this property, we really knew we had to change our strategy. I mean, this is unlike the ranches that we are accustomed to hunting. I mean, this property is literally the thickest property that I've ever hunted. I mean, it is Jumanji country. So what we decided to do was clear out a few areas and try to really develop a few food plots. So I contacted Bobby Duncan at Invite Food Plots, and he was really helpful and gave us a lot of guidance and sent us some really fantastic seed.
Yeah, for some of these small pockets, we used some ATV discs and some hand spreaders, and we put in their X20 perennial plot. It wasn't long before we had some good grazing material for the deer.
It's November 15th. We're in the peak of the rut here in East Texas. And I cut out of the office early because I had to get in the stand to hunt during the rut. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. I got my grunt call, rattle bag, so we're going to hunt hard for about 3 hours and hopefully punch one out.
Unfortunately, gun season picked up right where bow season had left off.
Yeah, and it wasn't just for Casey. I mean, really the whole team, we were not seeing anything. We could not buy a deer. No does, no bucks, anything. We were just absolutely snake bit.
I had to do something to change my luck, so I brought my oldest son Rory along. I figured a little good luck charm was all I needed. Elusive Outdoors is brought to you by Sendera Funding. Live your life. Love your mortgage.
You know, as the season progressed, my expectations pretty much dropped and changed my strategy a little bit. And I was pretty much seeing red because I still have to fill my freezer. So big 8-point, big buck, that'd be fantastic. But, you know, if a good deer walks out, he's going down.
Yeah, after chasing that buck for so long, and now I've got my son along with me, at this point we were just trying to bring something home for the family. Our first afternoon out was a bit warm. We were set up in a ground blind where we had good visibility of some trails, and our expectations were high, but so were our spirits, and we were ready to have a good time.
What are you working on? What are you working on? Something for the show? No. The producer's hard at work over here. He's producing this hunt. He's gonna tell me what to shoot tonight if we see something, right?
I was starting to feel really bad. I told my son that if he would stick it out for three hunts, we'd see some deer, probably have a chance to take one. Here we are, I don't know how many hunts in. I'm getting pretty frustrated. At home, we can sit at the breakfast table and see deer right out our kitchen window. And here we are in the stand, not seeing a thing. But you know what, my little guy, he never complained once. I let Rory pick our next spot. And he picked a nice little blind, sits right on top of a dam. There's a little pond beneath you and a nice little clearing. We'd actually started to see a little bit of activity at this location, so I felt like it was a great little honey hole for our next hunt.
We got 2 more days of doe season here in this county in Texas, and me and my boy have been trying like crazy to get a doe or any deer, and he has hunted hard. He's probably been with me on 7 or 8 hunts. I told him at the beginning of the season if he would go with me on 3 hunts, we'd probably see a deer and probably get one. We haven't seen a deer yet on a hunt where he's been with me, so he's been faithful to keep coming. And so we're excited about this afternoon. We've got snow geese migrating overhead, and we've got a real pretty spot here we're sitting on the top of in a tree stand on a dam, and we've got a little pond out in front of us, so we're excited to see what's going to happen. You think it's going to happen tonight? Yeah? I hope so.
Well, still no deer, but we finally had some cooler weather blowing in, and I felt like with the temperatures dropping, we'd finally start seeing some deer move. And Justin was hunting as well. I was just hopeful that something would finally break loose for somebody on the elusive team.
Well, and the reality is if you've been hunting long enough, hunting can be tough. And it really just depends on where you're at. In this particular ranch, it was tough. And, I always say that I love to just sit in the blind, watch nature, and if I don't see deer, that's fantastic. I tell you what, after about a month and a half, I'm ready to see some deer. We had a break in the weather, little bit better conditions, and wouldn't you know it, I had a deer in front of me, and he actually had horns.
Elusive Outdoors is brought to you by Sendera Funding. Live your life. Love your mortgage.
So it feels like it's been years since I've actually seen a buck, and I actually have one in front of me right now. And we've probably all done this before, but I was actually trying to make the buck grow in my mind. But, this deer was too small. He was too young, and to be honest with you, it was actually kind of depressing.
Well, as hard as the hunting was and as discouraged as I was so proud of my son. This is his first year hunting, his first season, tagging along with me, and he didn't complain once. He was doing so good. He was hunting hard and just kind of grinding it out. I really wanted it to pay off for him. So we finally had a management deer out front of us, and I was so excited that he was going to get to see something happen.
So my dreams are dashed from my smaller buck that I tried to make grow, but I did get a text from Casey that they have a management buck, a spike, which we try to take all of them out. Now usually I'm not this excited about a spike, but it has been a battle. Plus his little boy has been trucking right along, and we've been trying so hard to get a deer, so I'm just anxiously sitting there waiting to hear a gunshot.
Well, we were zeroed in on this spike, and to be honest, I was just relieved that my son was finally getting to see a little bit of action. And we were just moments away from, pulling the trigger on this deer, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye. The buck we had not seen for 3.5 months, the buck we were chasing from the beginning of bow season, appeared out of nowhere. Here's what Rory and I are seeing. We're in a blind that's perched right on top of a dam. We're overlooking a clearing, and there's a small pond beneath the dam to our right.
And of course this spot is extremely thick, so you really can't see anything coming. I mean, you just really have one narrow passageway where these animals are crossing. You have to be really quick on the draw, which makes it even harder if you've been hunting for a month and a half and you haven't seen anything. So it's pretty amazing to be able to make this happen in this location at this time.
I've had the opportunity to film some pretty good deer for the Elusive team, but this is the biggest deer that I've ever had the opportunity to shoot. And to have my son with me, it just makes it so special. But I'm feeling a little bit of pressure, because this deer is headed for the thick stuff, and I don't have much time.
Elusive Outdoors is brought to you by Sendera Funding. Live your life. Love your mortgage.
Okay, this is the same stand we were in last night, and we got up. We've been sitting for about an hour, and it didn't take long. We had a spike running around, and then he didn't like something off to his left, and then boom, here comes an 8, and he moved across. I had to try to stop him. And man, he was, camera angle, he was behind some brush, but I feel like I put a good shot on him. What do you think? You think we got him?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna give him a few minutes. We're gonna see if we can find some blood and see if we can find that deer. High five?
There was a little brush in front of the deer on camera, but I had a clear shot, I had a good rest, and to be honest, I was a little surprised he didn't drop. I knew with the gunshot Justin would be on his way. In all the excitement, I never realized that I didn't send him a text and let him know about the 8-point.
I am literally jumping out of my stand to head over to Casey, and I know it's just a spike, but at this point, I am grinning ear to ear.
So when Justin gets there, I realize he's, thinks he's there to help me with that spike, but, I know something he doesn't know, and so I let him watch that hunt back on camera so he could see everything unfold.
What in the world?
How are you gonna keep that from me? Where are you? Let me rewind. Where did he come from? I'm just sitting here.
I gotta tell you, I was so excited about just the prospect of going to find a spike on the ground, and then you show me the beast you shot, and then I'm really on cloud 9. So at this point, the only thing I can think about is getting in the woods and start tracking.
I think Rory was more excited than anyone, so we let him lead the way on the tracking. I realized if that deer had just dropped right there, we wouldn't have gotten to, enjoy this part of it. So it was a lot of fun tracking that deer through the woods.
Oh, what did you find? Blood. That's a good sign, isn't it? All right. Yeah, that's good. Keep pumping. Squat down. What's that right there? Whoa! Woo! Hold on. Let's check it. Look at that. Rory, look at this deer.
Good shot, Dad.
Oh man, he just crashed up here. Look at that, Rory. Oh! What do you think? Take a look at this, Rory. Come here. Look at that guy. Yeah. What do you think about that, man?
Awesome.
Look at him. Look at his neck. See how his neck's all swollen?
Yeah.
He is rutting, isn't he? Look at him. He is beautiful. Where is this one gonna go?
In the freezer.
In the freezer? I agree. Wow. High five, man. That was an awesome hunt. You put in the time, didn't you? How many times have you been out with me?
6.
6 times in probably the last 10 days. Yep, you put in some time, didn't you? Wow, look at that character. Here you go. Take him. Go ahead. I'll go get the truck. You drag him out to the trail, okay?
Daddy.
Come on. Come on.
Daddy.
How about I get this side?
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
I was so relieved to have Rory with me. I really don't think I could have loaded that deer on my own.
Well, we finally got the job done. My son has put in a lot of time in the stand. I told him at the beginning of the season, if he went with me about 3 times, we'd probably see something and have a chance to shoot it. And this morning was our 6th hunt, and we had not even seen a deer in the stand yet. And we put our church clothes in the car, and we were gonna hunt till about 9 and then take off and get to church. But I guess we're not gonna make church, are we?
Nope.
Nope. Have you ever seen a deer this big?
Nope.
It's a pretty good one, isn't it?
Yes.
Where are we gonna hang this deer?
In my room.
Your room? I guess you deserve it. You put in a lot of time, didn't you? All right, man. High five. Way to go.
This hunt really was a lesson in patience and staying the course. To see a deer on trail camera in August, never see it and get to harvest it in November, for me is personally, that's my best deer. And so to have my son there with me, by my side doing it all, that was the best part of the experience, hands down.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean, it was so awesome seeing his face as he grabbed the horns and, tried to pull them through. It's just awesome. And I'm lucky enough now that my son Carter, he's ready to go hunting, and we got to enjoy one experience, and it's just going to be a whole nother world, and I really can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to some new adventures with them.
On the next episode of Elusive Outdoors.
It's our first morning in Canada, and we're ready to do a little bit of bear hunting.
We have some of the premium bear hunting area in North America. We've got a massive territory that we hunt. It's the type of area and the quality of the bears that brings people back.